welcome everybody to the NGI Forum workshop additional session that is showcasing results of the NGI EU-US enhanced ecosystem of our top researchers, innovators, and policy stakeholders. This event is a short event thanks to collaboration of 3 EU-US projects that are not competing but collaborating with each other closely. As you can see them below, this is the NGI Think Nexus project, NGI Atlantic, and NGI Explorers. And this is our agenda for today. So as you might have seen already in the introduction on the NGI Forum platform, this workshop is divided into 3 parts. So we're gonna kick off by the NGI Explorers project, so with the award ceremony. Then we're gonna continue with the showcasing of the EU-US project collaborated under the NGI Atlantic projects, and we're gonna finalize the event with an exciting panel discussion led by the Think Nexus. And at this point, I would like to introduce myself and, of course, my colleagues that are co-organizer of this event. So my name is Iva Stefanik. I'm the project coordinator of the NGI Explorers, and this event wouldn't be possible without Jim Clark, that is a project coordinator of the NGI Atlantic project. And of course, Mark Pattison, the project coordinator of the Think Nexus. But also, last but not least, we have with us Jorge Gazos, the representative from the European Commission and the DG Connect, who is supporting our project activities. So perhaps, James, you can just give us a brief overview what people can expect from your session.
Sure, Iwa, thank you very much for your introduction. What we are going to do in part 2 is we're going to be showcasing our projects based upon their NGI topics. It won't be in a contest or awards format per se, because we consider them all to be winners. We're going to have an interactive session. It'll be lively and will be based on questions, answers, and discussions, and not presentations. So we look forward to having you all in our session.
Perfect, thank you, Jim. Mark, if you could give some insights concerning the panel discussion.
Sure, again, thank you for the introduction, Iwa. Just to try and motivate you to stay on to the end, I know we're going to wrap the session up. Session 3 with my panelists from the European Commission, Jorge Gazos, and Deepak Panda from the National Science Foundation. We'll be giving some insights into some new funding opportunities for both NGI, but also the EU-US cooperation, which is at the heart of the Think Nexus NGI project. So stay with us because it will be fun at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So we're going to have a lot of speakers during our morning session for our United States colleagues, and afternoon and evening session for all in Europe. So indefinitely stay with us, and we're going to be introducing them one by one. But now, without creating any delay, we can really kick off to the NGI ceremony session. And as Jim well mentioned, where we also, of course, consider all our explorers phenomenal, but we are happy to somehow highlight those special, remarkable results that hopefully you're gonna be hearing and seeing today. So let me start with the introduction to NGI Explorers very briefly. About the project overview, so NGI Explorers is a project funded by the European Commission under, of course, the Next Generation Internet perspective. This is a project that started already in January 2019, and we are ending actually by the end of this year. That will be the end of our 3 years somehow a fellowship program. This is how we see the NGI Explorers. It's equivalent of the concept of Marie Skłodowska-Curie, the fellowship. So as you can see, our budget is nearly 1.5 million, and quite a big pool of this money is dedicated to fund our third parties that you're gonna be able to hear today. This consortium, this project is built by 3 partners. That is F6S, so we are leading this consortium in a close collaboration with our Zabala innovation partner that is that is leading basically the co-management activities and exploitation of the explorers' results, and our heart of our US ecosystem, that is Australia, that is responsible for creating and building, as well as expanding this ecosystem, also taking care of our dissemination and promotion activities. So in a very brief, our mission was very clear. So we wanted to create a program that bridges the new opportunities for collaboration between Europe and the United States, and we wanted to do it through a fellowship, through creating a channel of exchange of knowledge and interest, and through this catalyze the next generation of internet. We somehow work around 3 clear objectives. So the first one, we definitely want to enhance the EU-US collaboration within the NGI. Then, of course, we are funding our third parties, so we are counting on developing interoperable solution, joint demonstration, and overall contribute to the standards. And last but not least, we want to build and expand this EU-US ecosystem of our explorers that we somehow divide them into researchers and innovators group that we're gonna explain to you further. What does that mean? So our concept methodology, as you can see, we start, of course, with the open call. We create a setup, a program where we engage our United States partners. Then, of course, we are looking for our candidates, our explorers, and then we perform the matchmaking. Once those explorers with the best ideas are selected and the match is found with our United States nodes, they are invited to the immersion event when they can connect, learn, and collaborate with each other. The first open call was the lucky one to do it physically. Unfortunately, open call 2 and upcoming open call 3 were unlucky with the pandemic hit, so this was happening only in a remote way. But nevertheless, once this immersion is done, they were, of course, moving to the best exciting step for them, that is the expedition itself. Again, we have a few lucky ones that did this expedition, in fact, in the United States before the pandemic, or actually almost crossing the timeline of pandemic. And of course, one day in the United States, so we're working on the projects. We were providing them with the tech business support on request in collaboration with the Tetra project in form of tailored webinars, and we were constantly monitoring their progress. And then here we are today. So we are in the NGI Oscars, so we want to really award the best ones, or not the best ones, the best in several categories according to the jury that we have it today. So when we're gonna move forward, just to give you a quick idea how actually our explorers were taking part in our program, they could apply through 3 channels. So open idea, challenge, and per team. So in the first one, they had their own idea and they were kind of searching among our United States partners who is actually compatible to collaborate with them on the same research or innovation interest. If they didn't have their own idea, no problem. We have prepared for them a huge database of tech challenges that were delivered by our United States partner. And if none of the first options was a fit for them, they were having kind of a liberty to bring and expand our United States collaboration and network with their own partner. And actually that was a quite also successful application. On the top right corner, you can see our focus area. That's how we define them. These are the 7 technology areas that were defined as the most influential for the internet to shape in the upcoming decades. So this is artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data, Internet of Things, 5G, cybersecurity, and cloud edge computing. So our explorers will be today pitching their projects within each of those focus areas. So this is just for information. That was the matchmaking. We prepared above 100 plus opportunities for them, either within the open idea or for the challenge, and those materials were available for explorers, and we were performing the matchmaking with the relevant United States nodes. And who are actually those explorers then, and our United States partners? So as you can see, our target was in fact twofold. We were equally interested in encouraging academic organizations to join us with the main focus on research and advancement on internet technology. But at the same time, we were also happy to receive and collaborate with the business organization with bigger interest on applied solution that can be transformed into business models and, of course, product to the market. And this, in fact, corresponds to the two profiles of our explorers, that is researchers and innovators that were blended, and they were collaborating with one of those two ecosystems that we managed to create. Today, our explorers that will be pitching, they represent of course, the researchers and innovators category. There are 12 in totals from 9 different countries, and they developed a project in each of the focus areas that they presented, and concerning the domains that will be projects concerning smart cities and buildings, network, security and connectivity, health, tourism. And I literally cannot see the last one, but because I can see the speakers here. So I'm sorry, but I hope you can see the last category. I think it was transport, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, if I remember well. So here you can just see a photo of the OpenCo1 group. As I mentioned, they were the lucky one. I hope we all had a good time in Poland, Warsaw. That was our immersion time. Yeah, unfortunately, the pandemic cut this opportunity for the other explorers. So yeah, so who are they? Our explorers represent 3 ecosystems. So of course, biggest group comes from universities and research centers. We have also innovators from startups and European SMEs. Some technical issues here. But here we go. So, and who are the United States nodes? So in OpenCo1 and OpenCo2, actually, we managed to engage 27 organizations. And we performed the matchmaking with the 10 of them. So 10, those organizations highlighted, you can see they were actively supporting our explorers in the collaboration in the United States or in a remote mode, mostly for those in OpenCo2. So what we're awarding, that's almost the ending of my presentation. We have a short video, so let me just quickly switch from one material. Please let me know if the video is gonna come. Can you see the video?
Not really.
Oh, that's a surprise. Let me check again. Can you see it?
Yes, we do now. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Let's hope the sound is good. So. Right, so there you have. I need to do a quick magic to switch again to the slides, and hopefully they should appear right now. Yes, so these are our categories, 5 categories: the best project idea, the best project excellence, of course, motivation, novelty, and objectives to be assessed. The brightest EU explorers, what we mean here: individual, upgrade career, and the best progress. In that sense, the best NGI explorers impact, the overall impact. We're also looking on sustainability here in collaboration with the United States partner. The best social innovation impacts fully aligned with the main vision and mission of the next generation internet. And the last but not least, best EU-US collaboration team. So here is a dream match that has been done in terms of cooperation, smooth cooperation results, and sustainability. So I believe this is all for now from my side, and I would like my colleague Jose to take over, Gonzalo from Australia, and introduce you to our jury panel.
Thank you, Eva. So can you go to next slide? So the only way to really select the best explorers for the categories that Eva has just mentioned is to really have an excellent jury along with us today. So let me just quickly go through the three profiles that we will be somehow assessing along with me, the different profiles for today. We have decided to pick up the three persons here presented based on their, knowledge and transfer of technology, as well as international cooperation experience somehow. No? So the first one is my colleague Alexandra Garatsuniani, which is the head of knowledge and technology transfer of the LEVY Information Center for Science and Technology. Alexandra has a long track experience in European projects and currently coordinating two H2020, one in the media sector called Media Futures, which is somehow data-driven innovation hub for the media value chain, as well as Project Trust, which is for trusted secure data set in space, no? As done as other projects, obviously. So she will be somehow having the two hats between the university and research world, but also in the technology transfer. As well, we have James Clark, which is already has been speaking. He's the European Project Manager and Strategic Liaison Manager of the Walton Institute of Waterford Institute of Technology. No? Mr. Clark has been quite active in the research and innovation community for a long time, and as well as several projects related to next generation internet and international cooperation. And currently he's the coordinator of an NGI Atlantic that he will be somehow presented later on. No? And last but not least, we have along with us as well Miguel Garcia, which is the Director of Innovation of Bosonet. Miguel has also a long track experience in European projects, as well as the innovation sector, mostly oriented to SMEs, with 12 years in research and innovation through several H2020 and FPC7. No? And in fact, he has been coordinating 4 different projects, supporting especially the startups in the fields of data and blockchain. No? Again, I believe that we have today here great examples of somehow the transfer of knowledge between, what we're trying to assess, no? On the one side, the researchers, on the other side, the innovators. So again, happy to have this amazing panel with us. So Eva, floor is yours.
Perfect.
As well.
Thank you, Jose. So we're going to be looking forward for the panel jury. But now it's the heart of our event, so the pitches. And now it's my colleague Esther and Pablo that's gonna moderate this session. So be ready for the 12 pitches that are coming. Esther, you can take over.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen now. So here we go. So we are moving now to the pitch session. You will hear this pitch from our 2 groups. First, we have the 7 researchers, and then you will hear the pitch from our 5 innovators today. They will have strictly 2 minutes to pitch. So after these two minutes, you will hear like some ring. And then I'm afraid that this means the ending of your pitching. But for others to understand, our explorers will present today what is the project idea in a brief. They will also present which have been the results that they have achieved through their expedition and why these results are important. And finally, we have been the benefits of the collaboration with the US nodes and the impact that the NGI Explorers program have brought to their career development. We'll present this together with my colleague Pablo today. So for the researchers, we'll keep this order. So please, all of you be attentive to this. We'll start with Aurora, Michal, Irma, Khulan, Martin, Cristina, and finally Christian, and then we'll move to innovators. So we are moving with the first one. Aurora. Pablo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so just a brief presentation. The first one is, as my colleague Esther mentioned, Aurora González-VIDAL from the University of Murcia in Spain. Her expedition was 3 months long, and she carried it out in the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University with a focus area in AI. So Aurora, your time to shine.
Thank you. Nowadays, researchers are elaborating solutions for smart cities that are use case specific and depend on data, and therefore on wide IoT deployments to which AI is applied. In the project, I wanted to develop a knowledge transfer system between buildings using transfer learning techniques for the realization of smart buildings. It consists on the creation of a network of buildings and the identification of representative ones. The idea is to share knowledge between buildings according to these similarities in order to reduce the amount of sensors that are needed to develop a smart solution in a building and optimize resources. Next, please. We managed to develop 2 clustering algorithms, one for mixed data, numerical and categorical, that is able to cope with missing values that are common because metadata is normally manually gathered. And another one for image clustering, since we represented the available sensors information with heat maps. Then, for the transfer learning strategy, we train energy consumption prediction CNN LSTM networks with all data from the representative buildings. Their weights were used when training other networks with less data in 3 ways: within the same dataset and same problem, but different buildings, within the same problem and different dataset, and also for a different problem, that was the prediction of HVAC setting points. As you can see, we always reduce the error. Next, please. My US partner had previous experience with transfer learning models, so they provided guidance and a suitable computing environment. We are still collaborating, writing proposals together and a paper. Other impact includes a short internship in Matereo, the startup of Ricardo Carmona, another NGI explorer. I increased my network with top researchers, and I got a postdoctoral fellowship in which I am applying the knowledge I obtained. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aurora, for your pitch. Our next one comes from Michal KEDZIORA. He's coming from the Wroclaw University of Technology in Poland. And Michal had a 3 months expedition at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And his project, was around cybersecurity focus area. Michal, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So during NGI Explorers expedition, I was working to analyze cybersecurity issues of blockchain technology. We had implemented a testing environment to analyze and assess the behavior of complex blockchain systems during simulated attacks. Next slide. The research results were presented and published in high-rank conferences and science journals, actually in 2 international conferences and 2 scientific journals. Next slide. So the biggest value that was creation of a partnership between US node and my research team in my university in Europe. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We are moving then with Erma.
Okay, the next explorer is Erma Perenda from KU Leuven, most specifically from the Department of Electrical Engineering in Belgium. Her expedition was also 3 months, and her focus was on 5G. The floor is yours, Erma. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. A real-time spectrum awareness of spectrum usage and spectrum knowledge is crucial for many spectrum sensing applications, such as dynamic spectrum access and resource allocation in 5G and beyond, security application in military, application in cognitive radio, and in general automatic interference analysis. The RF Spectrum Deep Insight project is looking for a robust and cost-efficient solution for transmission identification and modulation classification based on raw spectrum data coming from low-cost spectrum sensor deployed in the field. This task is very challenging due to hardware imperfections and also a very dynamic channel environment. All state-of-the-art solutions for modulation classification and transmission identification assume that they know all signal and channel parameters a priori, but this assumption is unrealistic, and we found out that this lack of this knowledge introduce a severe performance degradation. Next slide, please. So our solution, we propose a solution based on deep learning, and with this solution we can achieve significant performance improvement. The method and results are summarized in a conference paper that is presented last week in Infocom. Also, we provided 2 data sets, synthetic and practical data set. Also, the Infocom paper provides a broader audience with access to our solution, and data sets can be useful for researchers that are working on this in the same similar problems. Next slide, please. As we share the common research interests with the team at Universitat Albany, by achieving the joint papers, we can strengthen our global presence in the spectrum sensing community. In Europe, we are part of the ElectroSense community. This is crowdsourced spectrum sensing, and we are aiming to increase visibility of ElectroSense to audience, and this kind of collaboration with Universitat Albany can help. I mean, it's perfect solution to reach that. And also we are able to, by creating multinational platform for spectrum sensing, okay.
You can wrap up if you want.
Actually, if we create, by collaboration with US, we will be able to create a multinational platform for spectrum sensing that will encompass the spectrum enforcement that we have here in Europe and enforcement that we have in the US that can be totally different. Okay, thank you and sorry for.
No worry. Thank you very much, Erma.
Thank you very much.
We are moving next with Khulan BATBAYAR. She's coming from the Universitat Politecnica de Catalunya in Spain, and she had a 6 months expedition at George Washington University, and she will present now the project around the cloud edge computing. Khulan,
thank you. In the large-scale network, the connection to the internet has been distributed, managed through a special network node called Internet Gateways, and all the traffic directed to the internet passes through this node. So the ratio between the gateway nodes and client nodes are often higher, and depending on the demand of the gateway node, their performance changes frequently, which provides uneven performance to the end users. Next slide, please. So, thank you. We proposed a framework called Sense, Share, and Select, which is a lightweight, collaborative, performance sensing-based gateway selection that are tailored for each node's best interest. So while keeping also overall a network-wide gateway, fair gateway distribution So we implemented this three-layered architecture: sensing layer, collaborative layer, and selection layer, where three of them are focuses on the specific problem areas of the gateway selection framework. Next, please. So during the 6 months of internship at George Washington University, we integrated these three different layers into this one gateway selection framework. And we proposed a new selection layer algorithm called Gate Selected, and it got accepted to IEEE Conference on Network and Service Management. We got a strong acceptance. So with our new framework that we are proposing, we are providing an alternative approach for affordable and best effort internet connectivity through this shared internet gateways. And this algorithm is designed for large-scale heterogeneous community networks in mind. Next, please. So we worked with two European Union universities as well as with George Washington University. We had a very successful collaboration, and based on our successful implementation and integration of the framework, we are still continuing on the implementation and testing of the framework in production network. And personally, it was a great career move. After the expedition, I got a few internship offers and postdoc offers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Khulan. We are moving on to Martin.
Next explorer, it's Martin Serrano, coming from National University of Ireland in Galway. His expedition was 6 months long, and he worked with the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and his focus area was IoT. So it's yours, Martin.
This is Jose. I mean, Martin just pinged me that he is actually an attendee and he doesn't have the speaker role. So maybe Ruben, can you grant him the speaker role, and maybe we can jump to the next candidate while Ruben can actually assign Martin the speaker role.
Martin Serrano, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay, he has been promoted.
Okay, so maybe, yeah.
Are you there, Martin?
Okay, I'm asking him to unmute.
If perhaps we can move to the other one, while he's going to have more time to do it, stress less and join us once.
So next speaker today is Cristina Marquez from the University Carlos III in Madrid in Spain. And she had this 6 months expedition at the MIT in the USA with a project dealing 5G. Cristina, I guess you wanted to share your screen.
Yes, please.
So I shall stop sharing mine.
All right.
You should be able to share yours now.
Okay, one sec. So now I'm supposed to be sharing it.
Yes, we can see your presentation, and now it's in presentation mode.
Perfect. So just starting. Thank you very much for your attention and for the introduction. Dynamic evolution of mobile traffic around the world is a map that covers different parameters from past, current, and future estimated mobile networks. And the purpose of this tool is to be an interactive graph that could help tenants, users, and operators to understand and predict how the new generation of networks will behave, taking into account different services like AR games, social networks, streaming, etc. So I would like to show you some of the examples we got on the results. For instance, I present you here how different services behave over time in 2 different countries, according to the forecast input of distinct operators, as well as distinguish the new trends that came up depending on the available data plans on these distinct countries. So taking into account this information, we could discuss that users, in fact, seem to choose their apps. However, it is paramount to keep update this map with the emergent trends for advocates in both hardware and software. Previous studies have identified a non-negligible relationship between networks and human behavior, but in fact, they reach other conclusions without addressing this topic without demographic information or cultural information. So our intention is to fill this gap, providing and covering these fields with a tool that could be transparent for all audiences. In fact, these research lines include the comparison of mobility trends so that we could help and contribute to actors in telecommunication, urbanism, transportation, and even sociology. And just to finish, given the collaboration, I could learn a lot to present this information and also discuss with experts on sociology and transportation about the literature and possible connection between these fields. But also thanks to this program, I could collaborate and meet a lot of explorers, distinct operators and service providers to get ground truth data from them and explore future collaboration. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and please feel free to contact me for future collaboration.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up is Christian KUDERA, if I'm not wrong.
Martin, if you are there, we can come back to you.
Yes, I'm ready here, and my microphone and camera is working. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, well, as mentioned, Martin Serrano had a 6-month stay at the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Martin, you can go ahead now with your pitch.
Thank you very much. And hello, everybody. I think everybody is living in a city. Most of the population is moving towards urban areas. And the IoT technologies is invading all the parts in our life. So basically, this study has been done, or this research has been done in the context of smart cities and the application of IoT and big data. And one of the current problems is that cities want to replicate each other, and then they ended up having problems to account or even identify the characteristics of cities. Next slide, please. In our idea, we were analyzing and we were discussing the possibilities to use the key performance indicators as a means of big data and IoT technologies and create a holistic approach that can transform this massive data or KPIs into a more organized manner. And then we can assess this via big data technologies and IoT accountability. We propose this one together with the National Institute for Standards and Technologies, a Department of Commerce in the US government, and they were very interested to even transform this one into a framework. And just to contextualize, a framework is a set of an initiative at the national level that they can provide to the citizens. Next one, please. As a result of this idea, obviously, and the invention of the KPI Explorer, we established a specification that was producing 4 deliverables or reports. And then this was transformed into a special report, NIST document, that is basically a specification or a baseline for standards that can be publicly available. And obviously this will reflecting into impact and adaptations and adoptions from cities. So the idea is to have this framework for the years to come and also establish more collaboration on that. So the community and the impact was well received, and we organized 3 events, public events, and then we invite all the stakeholders. Last but not least, the next one, please. And then finally, in the context of the collaboration and my career, so this opportunity was extended to have a 2 years collaboration now between the National University of Ireland and NIST. And then we are providing this holistic API project as a reference implementation or reference idea of this framework in the programs in the NIST department, NIST laboratory. So it's part of the US Department of Commerce now. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Martin. I think next up now it's Christian KUDERA, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so Christian KUDERA did a 3-month expedition in Global Cyber Alliance. He comes from SBA Research in Austria, and his focus area was IoT. So Christian, please go ahead with your pitch. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. It's estimated that there are over 38 billion IoT devices in the internet, and some of them are poorly secured and misused for malicious campaigns. And one way to identify such malicious campaigns are honeypots. And honeypots are a well-known technology for commodity systems, but due to the fact that IoT devices are closely linked to the hardware, the virtualization of IoT devices is a continuous problem in industry and academia. And my expedition had two contributions, or has two contributions. The first is the development of a technology that can help to virtualize IoT devices. And the second is the deployment of honeypots into the honey farm of my US node, Global Cyber Alliance. Next slide, please. So during the project, we developed a firmware web crawler and a virtualization prototype. And the firmware web crawler follows a modular approach. Currently, it can scrap and download firmware samples from 67 manufacturers, but it's easily expandable. And the purpose of the virtualization prototype is to extract and emulate firmware samples. And for our dataset we collected, we have an emulation success rate of nearly 80%. Beyond the NGI expedition, we started a collaboration with Global Cyber Alliance. We tried to answer the research question if attackers can recognize the difference between real devices and emulated devices. And you can see part of the setup here in this image. So we will deploy this in the next weeks, and we are really looking forward for this project. So next slide, please. Our plan is to continue to work on this framework and to release it as open source tool in a couple of months. And of course, we also plan to write a scientific paper about it. And what are the benefits of the collaboration? There was a huge knowledge transfer between the people from Global Cyber Alliance, between me and my company. And I have gained some access to Proxipod, which is a tool from Global Cyber Alliance. This tool helps me to shorten the time I will need for my PhD, so I can concentrate on research and not on implementing. And last but not least, I have some ideas how to commercialize the gained knowledge in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christian. Okay, so now we will proceed. You are muted, Esther. Now we'll proceed with the innovators. We will start with Iñaki, then Ido, Zlatko, Selvakumar, and Ioannis. So you want to add something else, Esther?
Yes, no, just that we are keeping the same structure with innovators. So they will again present the project idea, results, and we have the benefits of this collaboration. So we are moving with the first one.
Iñaki here. He did a 3-month expedition in Biochi. His focus area was in cybersecurity, and he comes from RKL Integral in Spain. So Iñaki, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah. So thousands of industry are exposed to different outages due to security and safety reasons. The last one was that happened in Colonial Pipeline, but there was some others in, as you can remember, the Ukrainian electric outage, the WannaCry with Telefonica and Renault, the English hospital being they got down, and so on. So in order to solve that problem, we developed BESS, which is an integrated system that includes digital security and physical security, and intelligently monitors and predicts events and attacks, as well as reducing recovery time, the mean time to recovery time, from 20 to 30%, above all in the critical infrastructure sectors. Next slide, please. So key results were very, very close to our counterpart in the US, to Biochi. Biochi, they have a tool for digitalizing processes. So we were very collaborating with them in order to integrate and define a joint sales models. The integration was technically and commercially as well. And we finally generated a final partnership agreement. We developed a very strong economic impact, 2 new main contracts with Telefonica UK and ETD, which are critical infrastructures, 3 proof of concepts in Europe, and expected exponential growth in the European market. about 2 million euros revenue by final 2023, reputation as well, and increased knowledge in technology. Next slides, please. So 2 main goals were activated in my collaboration. The first one was the go-to-market methodology that was acquired by Beochi. I think that this helped RKL very much in having a common vision. And also personally trying to acquire a direct and agile culture that they have in the US. And I think that we also acquired that from our part here to Europe in doing our business in a similar way, more, let's say, in brackets, in a more aggressive way. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Iñaki. We are moving now with Ido Levy, coming from SafeMod in Israel. He had this 3-month expedition at ERAU to develop, continue developing of a project around artificial intelligence. Ido, it's your time now.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you. So SafeMod, I'm the founder and CEO of SafeMod. We developed the first driver success platform meant to prevent accidents and increase efficiency in transport by incentivizing and rewarding drivers. We went into this expedition to validate our platform and product and technology for the US market. And we met as many fleet managers and drivers as we could in order to validate and create a product market fit. Next slide, please. During the expedition, we managed to meet many potential customers and eventually to launch 2 pilots with very significant companies. One of them is Pinch Transport in Houston. It's the picture that you can see in the bottom. The second one is with Forward Air. It's a very one of the top 20 logistic company in the US. They figure out that what we're doing is really unique and innovative for them. We start getting initial results. We save them or prevent more than 70% of safety events comparing to a control group. So it's something that really work out for the company and for the drivers. It's a win-win situation for everyone. Next slide, please. The support that we got, even due to COVID-19, was very significant. We managed to meet many people via Zoom and in person, and it really brought our company and our technology into the US market, and we're started growing. So thank you very much, everyone, for your support, and we'd be happy to follow up with anyone that is interested in what we're doing. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ido. Next one up is Zlatko ZAHARIEV. He comes from Eumorous in Bulgaria, and he did a 3-month expedition in the Stevens Institute of Technology. His focus area was 5G. So time is yours, Zlatko. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pablo, and thank you, and hello, everybody. So I'm Zlatko from Rouster, and Rouster targets this vicious circle in which we all live. It starts with buying a computer, which is super fun, unless it's except it's not, because now you need to install software and synchronize data and activate licenses, and only then it is fun, but not for too long, because over the time you install more software, you generate more data, and your computer becomes slower and slower over time. Up to the point of regret. When you actually have a computer, you pay a lot of money for it, but it's not working. Then you repeat, generating frustration and electronic waste. So next, please. Rouster is quite a simple, not easy, but simple solution to this. We just put all the expensive hardware in the cloud. And now, next, please. And now you have a computer which never gets old. It's super powerful, super portable. It is more secure, and it is environmentally friendly, generating less electronic waste and carbon emissions. Next, please. So according to our expedition, we basically achieved all we wanted. And we went a little bit further. So I was actually able to execute the mission on site, big thanks to NGI and Stevens Institute of Technologies. We created a whole new variety of routers. So next, please. Super small, super powerful devices capable of everything. Next, please. We upgraded all our software components. Next, please. We improved our infrastructure. Next, please. And we validated it over 5G. We compared it with other connectivity options, and we show it to potential users. Next, please. Which gives us a really good taste of success. The cooperation with our host was really perfect. they helped me a lot with all the issues around the traveling during the pandemic. We were mutually involved in each other's activities, and we were even able to settle down a live meeting. And they helped me with the validation process as well. Next, please. So we end up with some really good contacts with which we're already exploring some future opportunities in the US, including our NGI Atlantic application. We have a new wave of hype around routers, starting with just adding funded by NGI to our LinkedIn page. We recruit a new team member, and also we have now a worldwide capable pilot. So it's just great, and thank you very much, NGI.
Thank you very much for your pitch. We are coming closely to the end. Now with next speaker is Selva Kumar, coming from Kerkhoff in the UK, and he also performed the 3 months expedition at Stevens Institute of Technology. So Selva, that's your time.
Thank you, Esther. Tourism is a $1 trillion industry. However, many people don't have experience to travel for tourism experience due to financial situations, disability, and fear of playing COVID-like pandemic situation. Our iMersive proposes Uber-like platform where virtual reality-based travelers can be connected to 360-degree content providers. Imagine a situation: K is a wheelchair user. He wants to visit a place where he's not sure about accessibility. He enrolls on our platform, and iMersive connects to 360-degree content providers at the destination through live or bespoke recorded streaming. K enjoys immersive experience. He has got more knowledge about accessibility at the destination. He plans his trip for real. iMersive can also be used for marketing tool for tourism businesses in the COVID situation. It can also improve inclusiveness at the destination. Next, please. My expedition is remote, and in the northeast of England, we have experimented live streaming of 360-degree video content, and we have identified challenges of live streaming in 4G and 5G enabled environment. We created more than 5 years of experimental content, and we have established our US subsidiary thanks to this NGA and the support of Professor Chandramouli at Stevens, and we applied for US federal trademark application. Thanks to NGA Tetra support, we improved our business plan, and we won a best project in social impact category at NGA Tetra Bootcamp. Next, please. But for this NGA Explorer, I would not have thought about setting up my business in the US, and I have started to think from American perspective. I have grown confidence and credibility in front of investors and local governments in the UK has been increased a lot, and we received a great support from NGA Tetra. I have established a great friendship with the fellow NGA explorers, and being part of this NGA Explorer program has been a great validation for iMersive and my business growth. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Selva.
Thank you very much, Selva Kumar.
If I'm not wrong, I think we are coming now with the last speaker.
Yeah. Last speaker is Ioannis Chatzigiannakis. He comes from Sparkworks ITC in Italy. He did a 3 months expedition in the Northwestern University, and his focus area was AI. So Ioannis, time is yours. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. It was great to participate. Our expedition was on heart disease, which unfortunately is the leading cause of death worldwide. Today, the only tool available to detect cardiac problems is available in hospitals. Electrocardiograms to provide accurate diagnosis, unfortunately, are not available in wearable devices. And existing products like Apple Watches, AliveCore, and so on, lack the accuracy to help diagnosis. So what's happening today, the traces are transmitted to cloud services where their deep neural networks are used to carry out the analysis. Clearly, this creates serious problems on the internet backbone, because we have to transmit all the data to the cloud, and then most of the times this does not provide significant results we have to monitor over a long periods of time. So we end up with over-provisioning, which of course does not scale. The idea here is to try to transform this deep learning process for embedded devices, transform them so that we can detect cardiac problems within the wearable devices. Next slide, please. So here, with a collaboration, we managed to create a new prototype, a new wearable prototype that has a 12-channel ECG monitoring device, which is lightweight, it is washable, and essentially can be worn for long periods of time. And the analysis is achieved by having a deep learning model fitted within the embedded device, which achieves high accuracy, and this is done in real time. Next slide, please. So this was indeed a great opportunity for us, since we didn't have the experience to carry this transfer. Here, due to the help of the US node, we managed to apply specific algorithmic techniques to simplify the process, reduce computational effort, and make sure that everything can be executed in real time within this environment. And then in parallel, we managed to connect, although remotely, with experts to understand how we can proceed with the license activities within the US, and of course understand how we can modify our go-to-market in order to be able to sell this new product to the US market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johannes. So with these presentations, we end these two sections about Meteor Explorers. We are moving now to the jury panel, and I am giving back the floor to my colleague Eva for this.
Okay, thank you, Esther. We have some slight delay. I'm so afraid we are skipping time with our colleagues from NGI Atlantic. So, Jose, do your magic. Take all the jury for the 5-minute session out. So I hope you are already disconnected in your separate room. For everyone, it is not that we're gonna be making a result in a very rush. The truth is that our jury panelists were already, they have received a brochure that we have prepared with all information that were pitched today for each of the explorer. So that was sent and distributed to their jury members. So now they just received an additional personal touch of each of the presentation on the pitch. So in that sense, the decision should be taken and finalized, let's say. So now what I would like to do, Esther, you can give us a wrap up to play a video with all the 12 nominees while we are waiting these few minutes for the final results to be brought by Jose.
Yes, I will share now.
I get quickly to more that NGI Oscars mood for a few minutes.
Yeah.
1.5, yeah.
I'm playing, let's go.
Yes. Thank you, Esther. So we will just wait a few minutes for the jury to be back, but on behalf of the NGI consortium, thank you, Inaki. We actually would like to thank each of our explorers, because Jim very well mentioned our explorers are also all the winners. So we definitely don't want to spread the message that that they are not. It is just a part of our project, of our program. So we need to perform this NGI Oscars. That was our methodology and concept, but perhaps in future this idea can be reshaped. Nevertheless, each of the explorers, as you can see, have done incredible job, and we are happy to hear that. We hope all of them had a great experience and somehow adventure also, because you can think that even the explorers from OpenCo1 that managed to go to the United States, they were starting their collaboration literally on January 2020, so not so just February, March, of course, or the first wave hit all of them. So now we are very, very proud of them, and may perhaps those of you who has any questions to our explorers, we have a few minutes that we are stealing from the NGI Atlantic. We are very much apologizing for that. Probably there were some technical issues that we didn't stick to the timeline, but if there are any questions, I'm just checking the chat. If there were any questions, particularly perhaps to our explorers, so you would like to connect with them, or the questions concerning the departments, I can see they were answered. So yeah, in that sense, we don't have, there was a question, there'll be additional NGI Explorers call. Unfortunately, this year, not anymore. Our project is ending. We actually closed our last open call with 24 selected explorers. That is the biggest cohort, and we are literally now contracting them. And we will see what's gonna be the situation of them, whether they will need to perform it only in a remote mode, or some of them will be lucky one to go to the United States, but they're fighting with the visa issue. That is the main fight now. So we are supporting them and crossing the fingers for them. I don't know if Julia is with us to let us know how is the situation on our panelists, but I hope they are coming to us with the results. Let me quickly check with Jose. Just a reminder of the awards. We have the 5-type awards. So we are looking for the best project excellence, where we're gonna be looking into the objectives of the projects and the novelty that was developed in collaboration with the United States partner. Then, of course, we also look on the best impact among our explorers. We have actually 2 categories: the best overall impact and the special impact dedicated to social domain. This is particular award aligned with the NGI Next Generation Internet Vision. We also are awarding the best match, so the best EU-US collaboration team. Here we are looking at overall smooth collaboration between the 2 parties. Ideal situation is if they were connecting through our NGI Explorers program, so they didn't know each other before, and we have majority of the cases this type of collaboration. And of course, big part of this award is the sustainability. So as you could hear, many of them have managed to actually kick off, like expand and prolong the collaboration beyond our program. And that was one of our main goals, of course, to give them the networks, contacts, and then they ambitious move forward to create their own ecosystem. Let me quickly try to reach again to our Jose that they disappeared for a moment. They had the 5 minutes, but I hope we're gonna give them back in a second. So perhaps you can just grab a coffee or tea, use that 1 or 2 minutes as a very short break. And we will just get back with the results.
Perfect.
Okay, we are back. Sorry for the delay, but picking up 4 categories, it's not as easy as I thought. Anyways, yeah, I mean, let's go quickly through the different categories. We have decided more or less by consensus on the different jury members, which was going to be the winners for each one of them. So, yeah, I will just go straight to the point. So for the best excellence, we have decided to go for ERMA. We value somehow the outcomes in terms of scientific excellence that you achieved. So congratulations on that. I guess that we are running out of time, so we were thinking of having some time for you to speak, but I believe that we cannot really afford that anymore. So maybe Eva, you can go to the next category. For the best NGI Explorers Impact, we decided to go for Martin Serrano. Martin, you have already proved that, yeah, go to the next slide. Yeah, pretty much, Martin, you have already proved to be a long track sustainability with NIST, even beyond the mission. So congratulations, and you have already proved that the impact is really nice. So for the next slide, for the next category, we have decided that for the brightest European explorer, which is somehow focusing on the individual experience per se, we have decided to go for Iñaki. Iñaki, as you have proved to be somehow mixing well between the research on the one side, the innovation on the other side, also making sure to create a commercial agreement and commercial between the two different institutions. So congratulations on that as well. And for the last, the best social innovation impact, we all, by majority, we decided to go for Selva Kumar. Selva, you have proven to be one of the projects with more social impact. Also, we also appreciate that your enthusiasm to put your heart into the project. So congratulations on that as well. No? So pretty much these are the 4 categories decided by the jury. Last but not least, that this is somehow an internal decision by the consortium, because we knew we were the only ones knowing a little bit more about the European EU-US cooperation. We decided to go for one second. We decided to go for Michal and Emre Vidal because I believe that I didn't have the time to share that information with Eva. But anyway, Michal, we've seen a strong cooperation between you and Emre Vidal. You have proven that this cooperation was really strong and really sustainable. So congratulations on that. So pretty much, again, sorry for the rush, but we are running out of time. So congratulations to all of you, but also to those of you who hasn't really been awarded. We also appreciate that that you put your hearts onto the mission. So.
Okay, thank you, Jose, and indeed apologies for speeding up. And double channel, please don't think those awards were set up front. Jose was giving me here a hint, so I was putting the slides, and in fact the last one he didn't manage to give me information on time. I would suggest we literally stop here and give the floor to the NGI Atlantic, as we already still a good 16 minutes from their time, which we apologize. Thank you everyone for participating in our part, and we hope you are staying with us so we join the showcasing from the NGI Atlantic.